Hello everybody, this is Amanda Ellis of amandaellis.co.uk and Facebook page Angelic Celestial Colours. Excuse me if I'm sounding a little bit croaky today, fighting a little bit of a cold infection at the moment, but I wanted to take my own advice that I gave to a group of people last weekend, which was that I really feel with the Metatron energy, sometimes we're asked to work through it. So that's what I'm doing, although I am taking it a lot slower. And apologies to people I've actually had to cancel appointments with the last week. Anyway, I really wanted to do this June video today. And it's going to be a little bit different, I think, to what we normally do, because I want to talk about divinity and the divine within you, and really spending some moments of silence actually towards the end of this video, where we really just look each other in the eye and are able to connect at soul level to each other. And I'm going to ask Archangel Metatron in particular to come through my eyes so that some healing can take place. So before we do any of that though, just a little, I just wanted to say a few words about what I've been doing over the last week in particular, because the last week of May was an exciting time for me. I took a group of 11 people through to teacher level with Archangel Metatron healing training that I've been doing. So it's the first 11 that are out there, and there are teachers now across the UK, in Ireland, in Norway and in Denmark for the moment. I'm sure that will expand further into other places as well, but that's really quite exciting. So there's going to be more people who are able to train you up to level 1 and level 2, and you'll be able to in time see their details on my website and the courses that they will be running as well as myself. So that's good. After that, I then spent a few days going up to Avebury, Glastonbury and Stonehenge. And what transpired there, I didn't realise at the time, was that we were really travelling along the St Michael's ley line. Ended up at Chalice Well, which was always a wonderful experience to be there as well. So it's been a really busy, hectic period, and often what happens when we go through times like that, particularly when we're working with spirit, is it's almost like it's an upgrade energetically that goes on with your body, and often you do come down with a cold or something like that just to help you release whatever it is that is old stuff, I suppose, holding you back. So I feel like I'm in transition at the moment, so that's all good, and I'm welcoming all of it. I'd like to, just to start off, to just choose 3 cards to get us going, and this is from a new pack that I bought for the teacher's course actually, and it's this one. It's the Spirit Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno, who I always thought was a woman, but actually it's a man in Australia. I love his work, and I've actually got some of his artwork anyway. But these cards feel very high vibration, and I'd just like to choose 3 for us for June, and let's just see what Archangel Metatron wants to say to us through them. Okay, so if we just have a moment, just connecting in with Metatron's energy and in with these cards. So the first one that I'm going to pull is this one, which is the card of divine will. Okay, so I'm going to put that down there. Second one that I'm going to be pulling, I feel like it needs to be from the middle of the pack, so I'm going to take this one, which is opportunity. I knew that one was going to come out. And then the third one we're going to look for is at the end, it's the bottom one, and it says, can you feel me? And that's really appropriate actually for the exercise that we're going to be doing in a moment, which is about connecting self to self across the airwaves. Okay, so let's put those 3 down. And also I just want to spray some gold just to put that energy into our space. So just imagine that you have a gold light coming down around you. Gold, I'm being reminded, is very good for when you are going through periods of transformation, and I also want to say transmutation. So when you are letting go of old behaviours, old patterns, old situations in your life, gold, remember, is a great conductor of energy, so it allows things to be let go of, but it also welcomes in the new positive energy as well, and in particular this energy of opportunity that we've got sitting here as well. Okay, so before I look at the cards, just would like to hear what Metatron has to say through the gold ray for each of us today. He's reminding us of the golden cord that we have, which connects us to the higher realms above through our higher chakras. We know that there is a silver cord that connects us to earth, but the golden cord is the one that connects us up to our divine self, up to the higher realms, up to areas of inspiration, guidance and support that is always there for us. It's almost like a ladder of light that we can access when we remember that it's actually there. So whatever is going on around you this June time really feels as though you need to be reminded that you do have the support of the higher realms, and that you also are a divine being with infinite wisdom yourself, able to access all the answers that you may seek in your life at this time. The first energy I want to look at is the energy of divine will. And it's a beautiful card. If you see this, it's a beautiful mandala. It's in blue and gold and white in particular, so working with those three colour energies. And the message is on the back of the card, so I'm just going to read that. And it says, "Your life is unfolding in accordance with the divine will of your soul. Trust. Let go of fear and apprehension. You are protected and eternally blessed. Have patience. All manifests in perfect timing." I think this is such an important message for us this June time, because it feels that for many of us, we've been waiting and waiting for the breakthrough, for the opportunity that is definitely coming through, but also just waiting for something to either manifest in our life, for the conditions to be right to maybe move forward, for the conditions to be right to make the decision that we know we have to make. And really this card is saying that it's reminding us that there is a divine timing to all things. And actually at a human level, when we get impatient and we struggle and we push against it and we maybe wonder why things are not happening because we want them to happen now, it's just reminding us that the soul is always the one that is in control, and your soul knows what you are capable of at any one moment in time, and it knows when is the right time for you to move, when is the right time to pause, when is the right time to rest. Now, I don't think it's just because I've been feeling a little bit under the weather. I actually feel as though the beginning of June is a period to actually pull back a little bit. And when I say rest, obviously it doesn't mean we have to just lie down for 24 hours a day, but it does mean to create some periods of reflection, time to pause, time to take stock, because it feels as though from the second half of June going into July, there is a more active, dynamic energy coming into play. And of course that ties into the summer solstice, which is also around the end of June as well. So very much like Metatron is showing me here, it's like the coronal emissions that come from the sun. I think that's how you say it. He's reminding us that the sun, when it is about to emit a great deal of frequency and heat and light, there's obviously like a building up, a bit like a volcano, before it actually sort of brings forth its amazing golden energy, which I want to say is this card, the opportunity. So it's almost as though we are all in a period where we are conserving energy a little bit, building up, building up, building up, but it's not quite yet time to move, but it will be soon. And so the Divine Will card is just there saying, hold tight, everything is actually going according to plan, even if you don't feel that that is so. What follows it is a glorious card, which is the card of opportunity. Now, this was the one that was on the top of the pack when I actually came to shuffle them, and I had a feeling it was going to come through, and I shuffled the cards really well. What a beautiful image is the first thing to say. You can see the sea, and I love the way the sea is almost like bursting through those golden windows that we've got. Also picking up here, Metatron is really feeling as though he wants to say, of course, water is about emotion. It's about, I'm almost feeling this is a bit like a dam bursting. So whatever you have been holding on to, for good or for bad, maybe what you haven't been speaking out loud but needs to now be said, it's as though the end of June is a time when it's almost as though you can't stop the barriers, you can't hold the barriers for much longer. You have to give expression to your inner truth, and you have to allow your emotions to play out and to release what needs to be released, so that you can get to the calmer water behind. So it's almost as though I do feel that the beginning of June is the more tricky part of the month. And I know I'm speaking to you on the 6th, so we've already had 6 days of it. I'm really picking up that the 11th is important. I'm not quite sure why, I have to be honest with you. It's not just because that 11 links into Metatron's energy. It feels as though it's more than that. It feels as though there's a portal opening up on the 11th. It feels like it's a crossroads. I feel as I want to say for humanity. I don't know whether something happens on the world stage, something that is going to make us have to dig deep into our reserves. But it feels more collective than personal. But of course, it may impact on our personal emotions as well. Back to the card of opportunity. The words that go with this, it says, live in the moment, let go of the past. There is no point worrying about the future. A wonderful opportunity exists for you today. Embrace it. This perfectly, really, this card and this one here about can you feel it, very much are linked into the exercise that I want to do in a minute, which is about linking into the divine moment and the divinity within you. Truly, all we have is the present moment. We don't have the past, we don't have the future, we just have today. And how many times have we heard that being said to us, and we sort of nod and we think, oh yeah, I know that one. But truly, have you really been able to pull that energy into your body and live it day to day? Live it, so that today is the only moment you have. I don't know about you, but actually to have a day where you're not worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, you're not worrying about where you may be 6 months down the line or a year down the line, you're not thinking back to the past or past scenarios, you are just totally focused on today and what needs to happen today. It's actually quite something that's quite hard to achieve, but it is possible when we step into what I want to call our magenta moment as well, because there is a colour that links into that, and it is this one. It's not yet up on my site. It is a new colour that I'm bringing through. We tested it and we experimented with it at the teachers course last weekend, and it's magenta. Okay, it's the colour of divinity. I'm going to be calling it Divine Love. Some of the bottles at the moment, they just say Divinity Energy Spray, but I'm playing with the title of it a little bit. But it's, actually I want to just track back a little bit, if I may, and say something about magenta. Magenta, within the system that I taught for many years, colour system, was always Metatron's colour. It was a deep, much darker colour than this. And I suppose just because I wanted to create my own thing, I deliberately went away from not really looking at magenta, wanting different colours. And so this has taken nearly 2 years to come in, where by which time I feel all the other colours have sort of established themselves, they have their place within Metatron's repertoire. Magenta's now coming back central stage. And I think the best way for you to experience what this is about is for us just to connect into it. Yeah, I'll do that last card after we've done this exercise. So I just need to tell you a little bit about what we're going to do here. Those of you that follow my Facebook page may have seen that yesterday, so it's the 5th of June, I posted a video that I found profoundly moving myself, which was of the Russian artist Marina Abramovich. It was an exhibition that she held, I don't know, a few years ago, where she sat for 3 months every single day in silence, and within this exhibition any member of the public could just come and sit opposite her and have a moment of 1 minute's silence. And it was literally a case of her looking at the person looking at her, and it's very much, I suppose, founded on the concept of namaste, which is the divine in me sees the divine in you. And so she did this for 3 months running, day after day after day. And reading about it, she talked about the fact she had never seen so much pain in people's eyes as she did during that 3-month period. Anyway, the video isn't really about that. It's about the fact that an ex-lover, partner of hers, came and sat opposite her on one of the days over this 3-month period. And she wasn't expecting him. She hadn't seen him for many years. And so it was unexpected, and obviously her emotions weren't, I suppose she wasn't prepared for it. And I would suggest that you look at the video because it's profoundly moving, and what it really is about is being able to look somebody in the eyes and really see the truth of who they are, and it's about being vulnerable. And so we did this exercise at the teacher's course where we just sat opposite each other and we looked for a moment into our partner's eyes. And it can sometimes be quite an uncomfortable exercise to do. But what we did was we used this new Magenta spray with it, which puts you into a space of reminding yourself that you are divine and the person that you are sitting opposite is also divine, and being able to see that about them. So this is what I want to do now, and I'm going to just pull the laptop a little bit closer to me so you can see my eyes a little bit more, and I'm going to ask Metatron to work through me, and it literally will be 1 minute of silence on the video where you, me, Metatron, we just look at each other through our eyes and we connect soul to soul. And if you intend for healing to take place during this minute, then maybe you'd just like now just to take a moment to think about what you need help with, guidance with, so you can use it for that purpose, or you can also just use it for the purpose of seeing yourself through another person, and that's going to be me with Metatron's energy coming through me. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this laptop up a little bit closer. And I think I have the option of being able to zoom in. I hope I can do this. Yeah, there we go. And we're just zooming in onto eyes. Okay, so I'm going to spray the magenta light firstly around me. And I'd like you to also just imagine that there is a magenta light now coming down around you as well. And I'm going to time this. I'd like you to get comfortable, and we are just going to look at each other, soul to soul, through the eyes. Starting from now. divine in me sees the divine in you. Thank you. Okay, just going to move the camera back and tell you what I'm feeling. Just going to put the camera back to a more normal setting. Okay. I'm being told to pull one of these cards. I don't know what you're feeling, but what I'm feeling is a sense of real peace and serenity. When you are in touch with your divine self, you have no choice but to let go of all the dramas, of all the problems, of all the issues, of all the things that might have to be done today. You just are able to be in a place of bliss. And so by connecting into that magenta, helps you to experience a profound connection to the divine and to Metatron. And this is a beautiful card that I've just pulled here. I'm sort of smiling as I'm reading what it's about. The message is about oneness, okay? It's about oneness. I'm just going to read to you because in a way this is completely what we are trying to get our bodies to understand. Our mind understands it, but get our bodies to understand. You observe the light and dark of duality as a way to see your creations manifest into the physical. The great light of love is different to the light of duality. It is the merging of all opposites into one. Become clear with this, otherwise you'll be chasing only light, happy and nice, denying the dark, sad and awful, or vice versa. Opposites exist when we focus on one side. You know what you do want when you know what you don't want. Duality exists in this plane to have us ask different questions of life and create physical manifestations from the energy that flows from those questions. This is how you create your life. All is well, for the light of oneness will never judge you. It just shines upon you always. It is us who don't always feel its presence when we are focusing on a false perception of reality. Leads me on to something I was going to say anyway in this video, but I'd forgotten to, which is the whole thing about the divine in me sees the divine in you. None of us are perfect. And so it's looking beyond the imperfections. It's looking beyond the things that that person in your life might be doing or have done that you don't agree with, that you certainly don't judge as being of light, but still loving them anyway. The magenta colour helps you to see the divine in anybody on this planet, and I mean anybody on this planet. And on Facebook at the moment, in my local town, there's a real witch hunt going on. Somebody who has done something professionally. I'll have to tell the story. It's a vet, actually. It's my vet. It's the person who looks after my animal. And she takes animals in who don't have homes. She's got about 7 at the moment. Quite an eccentric lady. And 2 of them have been maltreated in her home, which is inexcusable and obviously is not of the light. Having said that, there is another aspect to this person which is divine. And I have seen that because I have been a client of hers for quite a few years, and she's always been very kind to my animal, kind to me and my family. And so it's a really good point, actually. It's a really good example of being able to see the dark in somebody, maybe, but also being able to see the light. We are all a mixture of both. And so that is really what this is all about. It's about being able to look somebody in the eyes, look beyond whatever they may have done, whatever their flaws are, and just seeing the love, just seeing the light, just seeing that divine spark. And I feel as though this June, that is what it's all about. It's about whatever is going on in our life. It is about connecting into that moment and actually do it to the people that you find most challenging in your life, whether it be children, partners, work colleagues, friends, neighbours, whether it's somebody on the news that you know, politically you really dislike. You need to be looking at that person and practicing what we've been doing here. I want to pull one final card because I'm aware this video is already 26 minutes long. Let me just pull one more, please. There was a third card, which is the one about Can You Feel Me? We'll go back to that in a minute because that's almost like a separate thing. Okay, well it's a separate thing we've got going on here. We've got, firstly, this one is lovely, which is Heart's Desire. You see the picture of a woman here and she's being showered by sunlight. And it says, you're being showered with love. Your time of waiting will soon be over. All your heart's deepest desires will be fulfilled. So that feels like the summer months, which I was talking about earlier. We've got the sunshine here. We've got the summer energy coming in, which is going to bring to flower some of the things that you've been really yearning for, wanting, hoping, manifesting in, which you haven't been able to see yet over these winter and spring months. The last one, the last card here, Can You Feel Me? I'm going to read the message on the back. It very much links into the divine feminine, which is awakening across the whole world. And it says your feminine aspect is awakening. So this applies just as much to men as to women. Feel the goddess energy inside you. She seeks acknowledgement and validation. New energies, new insights and opportunities are emerging. Wake up, embrace and celebrate. And actually that energy of celebration goes beautifully with opportunity that is coming through. And I do feel as though coming up towards the summer solstice, it really is a moment for all of us to actually celebrate what's good in our lives, what is working, what we are blessed with, because we all have things that we are blessed with, and also to celebrate the beauty of Archangel Metatron's energy, who is always there supporting us through the good times and the not so good times. So I'm just going to end with the magenta spray once again, and I'm just going to put it around me and then just channel through some final words. He's asking me to read a poem that I've got here on the chair beside me that I bought at the Chalice Well, and it's actually called The Prayer of the Chalice. I bought it for my mum actually, but I also got a copy for me. Can't really see it, it's in the shape of the chalice, it's in the shape of the beautiful cup. Okay, The Prayer of the Chalice. So this says, Father, to thee I raise my whole being, a vessel emptied of self. Accept, Lord, this my emptiness, and so fill me with thyself, thy light and thy love, thy life, that these thy precious gifts may radiate through me and overflow the chalice of my heart into the hearts of all with whom I come in contact this day, revealing unto them the beauty of thy joy and wholeness and the serenity of thy peace, which nothing can destroy. I hope you've enjoyed June's video. It's been a bit different this year, but it just felt that that's what I wanted to do. So, namaste, have a good June, see you in July. Much love, bye.